All right, welcome everybody to another video here trying to prepare you guys for the 2020 AP Statistics exam. This video is going to cover using the keyboarding tip sheet because I'm recommending to my students that they type their work either in a Word document or Google Doc and then upload that document to the test. The reason for that is I just think there's going to be a lot of explaining, a lot of justifying, a lot of typing, giving answers in great context that is going to be really better to read and to grade for a teacher if it's typed up, and it's going to be easier for you guys to make it cleaner and neater. But you never know what kind of math is going to come up on the test that you're going to have to do. I don't think you're going to be required to do a ton of math, but you might be required to show the work that would be required to do that math. So let's take a quick peek at some different mathematical formulas that are very common in AP Statistics and how you can actually type those in as opposed to using the standard formulas we're used to. So here is the keyboard tip sheet, and I will include a link to this in the description of this video if you haven't already looked at it. But it kind of really does go through how you could type this stuff. For example, mu. If you need to type in mu, just type in mu. X bar, X hyphen bar. Gives you a whole bunch of stuff here. Even subscripts. If you want to do mu with the subscript X, you could do mu underscore X or mu sub X. Let me write it out. The binomial model, doing the 8 choose 3, you could do C 8 comma 3, or you could literally write 8 choose 3. Exponents could easily be done, excuse me there, cough, with the caret. So there's a lot of really easy things that you can do. So really taking a look at this keyboard tip sheet I think is going to be beneficial to you guys on the exam, especially if you're going to type. So let's actually go into a Google Doc here, and I'm going to demonstrate how I would do some of this. All right, here are some of the common, very common formulas for sampling distributions for a proportion or sampling distribution for a mean. So how would I type these in? Well, okay, obviously p hat's easy, just p hyphen hat, very simple. Even the mean of all sample proportions, the center of a sampling distribution, you would just do mu, mu, underscore for the sub, and then p hat. So you're literally saying mu of p hat and then equals p. There you go. Very simple way of doing it. Yeah, it doesn't look pretty, but it's going to be really easy if you are trying to be able to type it instead of write it. Trust me. Let's do the standard deviation here. So you do sigma. I can't spell. Sigma underscore p hat equals, and then we need a sqrt for square root. And then inside the parentheses, we're going to type in the square root here. So that'd be p times 1 minus p divided by n, all in the square root there. So really not that difficult. It's not overly difficult to do. And then again, x bar here, just type in x bar, mu underscore, so that's your sub, x bar, pretty easy to do here, equals mu and so forth. So it's really not that bad to type this stuff. And again, that's why having the keyboard tip sheet will really come in handy. Let's just show you a couple of quick other things here. Here's an actual example of some numbers. So again, p hat equals 185 over 324. You could space it out, make it look a little bit neater if you want, and then equals 0.571. Things like that, right? They are saying that you're not going to require to have a calculator on the AP test this year. So, you know, maybe a fraction is totally okay. 185 or 324, don't even need the decimals there, okay? But again, you are allowed to use a calculator, so they're not going to take off points. If you do put 0.571, that's great, right? All right, let's do another one here. So standard error of the sampling distribution for a proportion. So p hat there. So there's a standard error of p hat. Remember the little underscore means you're doing a subscript. And then here we need sqrt, square root. Now we're going to type all this in. So 0.571. And then you can use the little times button if you want, a little times symbol. Or you can use parentheses, 0.429 divided by 324. Close that off, equals 0.0275. Very easy to do. Very simple to do, but really kind of taking the time to just to see this in this video and even practice it on your own will really help. T-scores or Z-scores are really simple. Just make sure that the numerator goes in parentheses. Remember, order of operations, numerator has to go in parentheses, or else the division would actually be done first, which would be wrong. So that would be important. So there you go. That's easy to do a t-score. Confidence intervals. Oh boy, these can be kind of ugly. Well, we got 9.845 plus slash minus. There's really no way of doing a plus over top of the minus. So just do plus slash minus. Again, that's in the keyboard tip sheet. Bracket 2.0930. You can even do like that in parentheses if you want. That way, I mean, you could use the little asterisk for multiplication, or you could just do the parentheses. And then again, now we got a standard error here. So we're going to do 0.1986 slash for divide, and then SQRT, and then in parentheses for the square root 20. And then close that bracket. So again, it doesn't look great. Trust me, I understand that, but it's going to be really, really simple to type. Okay. There's another one you could do. I can go through this one real quick here. So we would do 38.7 minus 31.5 plus slash minus bracket, and then I'm going to do parentheses 2.9768, and then in parentheses here. Now this is going to be kind of ugly, but it works. So SQRT. So everything in the square root, just type it in, right? So we have another set of parentheses, 10.2 raised to the second divided by 15 plus, and then we have another set of parentheses here, 8.7 raised to the second divided by the 15, and close that off, and then end that bracket. So really easy there, really not that bad. Again, doesn't look great, but not that bad. Even binomial distributions. Now, again, I would doubt that a binomial distribution, they're going to ask you to actually get an answer, because that would definitely require your calculator to do some of this math, but they could easily ask you to show the work. So you do, all right, the probability that the binomial random variable x is exactly 3 equals, now how do you do that 20 choose 2? Well, literally 20 choose 3. It's 20 choose 3. Sorry, I don't know why I said 20 choose 2. So 20, literally type 20 choose 3, easy. And then we have 0.20 raised to the third, just use the caret, and then 0.80 raised to the 17th there. That's it, easy, right? Very, very simple to do. Even math that is most people would want to write. They'd want to write that by hand, but very easy to type there. Even hypotheses are easy to do as well. Now remember, you could do the H sub O for the HO, like the null hypothesis. But you could actually, like, one thing you should have learned is that you don't have to use symbols for your hypotheses. You could explain this in words. So you could actually type the proportion of all jelly beans that are green is 0.23. And then the alternative is the proportion of all jelly beans that are green is less than 0.23, right? You could do it that way. Or again, this is actually pretty easy because just typing in a P is very simple. And then the alternative would be H underscore A for H sub A. P is less than. Actually, I have a little typo there. I'm trying to go too fast. Equal sign there for the 0.23 there. Even ones for looking at a difference between proportions. Again, H sub 0 here for the null hypothesis. And then you would do P underscore 2017. And now remember, you would define that. I would hope you guys know that. In your step 1, you would define that P sub 2017 is the proportion of something, whatever it is in this problem from 2017, equals P underscore 2014. And then obviously you can, another thing to speed things up is you can just highlight, copy, and paste, make that an alternative, and change that to a greater than sign. Easy, easy, easy. Just a couple more things. If you need a greater than or equal to sign, you could just do greater than equal to after it, greater than equal to sign. That's easy to do. So it's really, really simple. So again, I'm going to go back to that keyboard tip sheet. Have this open while you're taking the test. Print it out. Have it actually printed out to the side. That way you can actually use this to, type any of the math that you might have to do. I mean, it's really a big unknown. We have no idea what's going to be on the test this year, but I do know statistics, and I do know a lot of answers, in even past years where you were doing it all by hand. There's a lot of writing, right? This isn't calculus where there's a lot of more math work to be done. This is a lot more writing. And the fact that they're telling you that you don't need a calculator really tells me that the problems are going to be really focusing on explaining and justifying yourselves, and you won't have to be doing that much math anyway. But hopefully this little video helped you see how you could easily do it. Now, one thing I want to say though is this. If you are going to use a Google Doc or even a Word document, here's how you want to save it, right? Because if you're going to do the copy paste, even when you use these underscores and brackets and parentheses and carets, it might not copy and paste nicely into their system. I mean, if all else fails, I would definitely try to just do a copy and paste. It probably should copy and paste fairly nicely, but you just never know. So one thing it's just always awesome to do is just in a Google Doc, File, Download, choose PDF document. It instantly makes us a PDF. And what's pretty cool here, depending on what kind of computer you use, you'll notice like on my computer screen here, I know you can only see kind of half of it, but it popped up. The PDF that just created popped up right down here. Now, most computers automatically push that into the download folder on your computer, so you can actually very easily find it. Even on a Chromebook, it has a download folder, so that's where it instantly goes. That way, when you go to attach that text file, all you gotta do is go to that download file and you'll see it there. Or what's kind of cool here is like, it's literally right there. So I can almost drag and drop this if I want to put it somewhere. And there it is, right? There it is right there. Just kind of dragged and dropped it. And there's that file we were just working on. And then you can attach that. And the nice thing about turning something into a PDF is that it literally makes it exactly the way it looks on your screen. There's no conversion of something that might not have equations or things or whatever. You know what I mean? That's the problem. Sometimes when you convert something to a different file type, it doesn't look exactly how you had it. But when you download it as a PDF, it looks exactly the way you had it, so that when you are submitting that work, you know, sorry, I got this cough tonight. You know that you have the exact same file that you were looking at that you got submitted, okay? So it's kind of a nice thing to do. A really simple thing to do as well. All right, guys, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it'll use you to, you know, ace the exam. See you later.